Dragon.
All right, excited to welcome our next speaker and my bestie, Diana Bourke, to the stage. Diana is an astrologer focused on archetypal and elemental parts work and trauma informed through certifications in emotional empowerment and energy wellness. As many are aware, throughout our life story, the human condition brings experiences in waves of growth, opportunities, and some rather painful lessons. Using the language of astrology to better understand yourself through these cycles, patterns, and divine timing, this information can help support and guide you through life transitions and transformations towards a better alignment of your soul truth. Welcome, Di. Stage is yours.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Let me share a little astrology. Oh, we lost you, Cher.
Do you need me?
There you are. We lost you for a minute.
Oh, I was just giving you the stage. You want me to stay on?
No, no, no. I'm just trying to. I am trying to
Or
look
lost the screen altogether?
the presentation.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll just see if we can
Get that happening.
get that happening.
Oh, something's coming. We're just getting so it looks like it's not coming up. Diana B has started sharing screen, but nothing's sharing. Oh, maybe
Nothing
you're
is
frozen.
showing.
Maybe that's why you were frozen, I think, for a minute.
Is
Oh,
that?
something. Wait, something's happening. There we go. I think it's just slow internet or something.
Yeah, yeah. We have a rough internet over here. It's been, and then the Mercury retrogrades made it even more fun. So, um, yeah. So
Hey,
we'll.
you're good to go.
I believe we're good to go. And yeah, as long as you can see that and not my messy desktop, we're good. Okay. So welcome everyone. I just am here to talk to you about all this fire we have going on. So if you've been feeling the fire and are ready to um, dive into kind of what's going on from an astrological perspective, I'm going to take you through this quick little presentation. It's in PDF form, and I'm going to go fast because there's a lot. And then if you take advantage of the free gift, maybe we can connect after. So this new energy. Well, first of all, I'll talk about a little bit about astrology. Astrology is a symbolic tool, and it's kind of a reflective language that connects us to all the celestial planets and stars and such. And it's reflective in our lives. It's reflective in the collective, and it helps for tracking cycles and repeating patterns, and it's like a navigational map. And there's a lot of timing involved with certain cycles that repeat, so you can look at certain themes in your life, and also know kind of when you're in a transition, and possibly under a transit that's kind of challenging, or really beneficial, and when to take advantage of that. So we had one of those this morning. I actually shared with Sherry. So yeah, it's basically with the planets and whatnot. We're looking at it from our perspective, and it just can really be helpful with finding your own soul truth, and seeing where your repetitive patterns are, characteristics, and the role you're supposed to play, and what lights you up. So 2026, we're going into this new era, and it's because these outer planets shifted into fire. So we not only had the year of the fire horse, it also coincided with an elemental shift, and so that is quite a different energy than we've been in for a lot of years. These outer planets, which are very generational and era, they're like more in the water and the earth, and they were more grounded and maybe more emotional, and air and fire is fast. So 2026 was the year of the fire horse, which is energetically a very fast paced, and it embodies vitality and courage and confidence, and has a whole different energy, than the wood snake, which is what we had. So last year was a 9 year. So if we look at 2025, that adds up to 9, 2026 adds up to 10, and we reduce to a 1 numerology. That's a 1 year. So 1 is starting, initiating. And the Chinese astrology, of course, is based on the 12 animals and the 5 elements. And I'm not super familiar with it, but I went and wrote an article on it, just to learn a little bit more. And so in the Chinese zodiac, it is based on annual cycles. So you take the animal and mix it with the particular element that we're in, and they use the 5 elements of wood, fire, earth, air. Where in Western astrology, it's the 12 zodiac signs. And so we're assigned, under the zodiac signs, they're all assigned to each of the 4 elements, which are the fire, earth, air, or water. And then the month that you're born, it's based off your sun sign and the seasonal equinoxes in the northern hemisphere. So that's why it basically starts around the 18th to the 22nd of the month. So our personal planets are these. First of all, on the eastern horizon when we're born is the rising sign, and then the luminaries are the sun and the moon, so our core identity and our life force. And then our moon is our emotional and inner and day-to-day needs. And Mercury is the mind, our thought processes, our learning, our intellect. Venus is love and beauty, and the Mars is action and drive and willpower and our sexual energy. And the Venus is the attracting, the pleasures, and the desire. So those are the inner planets. And then the outer planets, the reason I'm going through this is because these are the important ones that are changing our generation and our era right now. Jupiter is expansive, good luck, growth, as well as, our faith and our higher wisdom. And Saturn is that reality. It rules time and responsibility and all the boundaries and restrictions and obstacles that we face. And Uranus is very unexpected change. It comes out of nowhere. It's like lightning bolt. And Neptune dissolves the boundaries. It's very mystical and imaginal. And then Pluto is the transformer, the death and rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes when those big life crumbles and dark nights of the soul happen and we build into something new. Lots of times that's to do with the Pluto transit too. So Saturn and Neptune are the 2 that are doing a complete reset of our entire era right now. So I took a little snapshot. This is from the solar system scope. I have a little app on my phone. And so, we look at in astrology from the perspective of Earth. And so all these outer planets here are way beyond like this inner ring with the Venus and the Mars and the sun and are all just right in this little spot. Like you can't even see them when you expand out to the outer planets. So it just gives you context of where everything is. And so right now, actually interesting is that this morning at 4 a.m., the Mercury was right in the heart of the sun where it was transiting, and those are called cazinis, and they're actually very powerful and very good. If you have any downloads or any insights come through, take note of that and bring it into light somehow. Usually there's a very small window where it's really active, but something to take note of. So this is also something I wanted to go through with the transits. And so the personal planets are very quick, and we do track them, but they're not what changes our generations. They're what changes our kind of day-to-day life. So the sun, it transits one cycle per year, once around the zodiac, and the moon is once a month. Mercury's 116 days and it goes retrograde and back and forth. It stays close to the sun, but it kind of has a different cycle, just depending on when the retrogrades happen. And then Venus is about 225 days. It goes retrograde, every 18 or so months. And Mars is 1.88 years, where Jupiter is every 12 years. So it takes one full year for it to go around or go through one sign. And Saturn takes 29 and a half years to go all the way around. Uranus is 84, Neptune is 165, and Pluto is 248 years. So often we don't see Pluto in too many signs. It's 12 to 20 years, right? So we just had one of those moments of shift with Pluto. So that was the first change in the outer planets. And then Neptune and Saturn are what just came together. But you see how different their cycles are, yet they came together at the very beginning of the zodiac in Aries at 0 degrees, like at the very, very beginning. It was so interesting. And in fact, people couldn't even find history. But finally going back, it was over 6,300 years ago that they came together at 0 degrees in Aries. So they do come together about every 36 years, but last time was in Capricorn. So you don't need to look at all of this. I just kept this slide because it was talking previously about the cycle of Pluto, it leaving Capricorn. And Capricorn was all this, government, institute, hierarchy, big business, big corporate, top-down structure. We were in that for 16 years from 2008. And when it entered, we kind of had a recession hit. And then when it left, things were dicey back and forth too. And so now it's moved into Aquarius. So this theme of wanting to do stuff for humanity and as a group and a collective and grassroots up and people getting together and saying, no, this is not what we want as people. We don't want this, and protesting, and it's a bit of the rebellion and brings in the future. So this is the era that we're in, and it went into Capricorn, or it went into Aquarius. It left Capricorn November 19th, 2024 for the first time. So it was there all through last year, and of course now it's moving quite along this year. So what coincides with that is, so Pluto in Aquarius, that's air, and Neptune and Saturn moved from water, very Pisces water, the last sign of the zodiac, into fire. And so that final change happened with Neptune on the 26th of January. So this has all just been happening. So if everyone's been feeling it, that would be why. On the 13th of February, Saturn went in. And then on the 20th of January, so right around when the fire horse energy, that Chinese New Year came in, just after that, was this conjunction. And so there was all this fire happening all at the same time, right at the end of, that was 20th of February. That's a typo. Little Mercury retrograde there. So the outer planets started moving last year. So if you go back to last summer, we had a little taste of this. And what'll be interesting is the 0 degrees of Aries is the beginning of the new year, the beginning of the astrological new year. So the sun will be hitting that mark on the 20th of March. And so, everyone will get that activation then. If you have that point in your chart, which my daughter does. And so, yeah, it's been really interesting to see what's been shifting for her, and it's in her 5th house. So yeah, we'll see how that all shakes out, of passions and creativity and such. So on the 30th of March last year, we saw Neptune hit that 0 degrees. Last year in May, Saturn hit it, but they didn't come totally together like they just did in February. They came really close though in the summer, really, really close. So if there was something kind of brewing last summer, and then they went retrograde, so then they pulled away, and then they pulled away so much they actually went back into the water sign of Pisces to go clean stuff up. So the fall of this year was a lot of mega heavy water, a lot of water. Everything went back into water and to earth, and we were just getting a lot of activations of them all together. So anything that was going on in the fall was just to wrap things up, essentially. And so another thing that's going to happen is moving from Earth into air is Uranus. So Uranus takes 7 years to go through a sign, 84 years to go all the way around. And so it's been in Taurus, shaking up our foundations in our earth and our money and all of our food systems, all of that for 7 years. And now it's going to go into Gemini. And so this is communications and travel and social aspects, the way we connect. Very, very airy. It likes being in Gemini a lot more than it does Taurus. So that'll be really, really good. So this is a chart of our conjunction. And so this was the chart of the 0 degree Aries point. So as you see, Saturn and Neptune are at 0 degrees and 45 minutes, they call it. So there's 30 degrees, and the minutes go like a clock minute, like they go to 59. So, but that's them coming together there. We see Uranus is still at 27 degrees of Taurus because it doesn't move into Gemini until April. This outer planet is in water, Cancer. This is Jupiter, and Jupiter will move into fire as well, into Leo at the very end of June. And then we have our nodes, which these little nodes of fate are things that are connected to the eclipses. And we just been through a set of eclipses as well, which was exactly the same date as the year of the fire horse. So we just had so many things happening at one time. But there was a lot of people talking about sovereignty and wanting to, do what's right for me. Like for me first, essentially, that's the Aries energy. Like the I am. Like if you put I am and it feels authentic to you, that is Aries. Aquarius is another very yes, it's very humanitarian, and it's about the collective and the group, but they're very individualized and unique and authentic, and are the ones who are the weirdos and do things different. And so I have a rising sign Aquarius, so that's my weirdo astrologer. So and so Saturn and Neptune at the 0 degree, very beginning of the zodiac, is coming together to bring that vision, that dream, that whatever you had in your mind of what you want for your life, and now taking charge, taking that bold action towards it. And so with all these energy changes, there is not a possibility really for us to sort of get away from really diving in to see what it is that we truly want. And we're just shifting, like I said, Jupiter's leaving Cancer, going into the fiery Leo in the summer. And here's our Uranus leaving Taurus, and it's going into this airy Gemini. So that's, like I said, April 25th. So that's not very long either. And that shift, that could bring a lot of interesting things, like all this off-planet stuff that we're talking about, and a lot of the robotics, and definitely the AI, of course. So it's not going away. We have to use it to our ability, get to know it, get comfortable with it, be discerning, but at the same time learn how to ground, find our ways to get back to ourself, back to our earth. And so this theme of going within, going back inside to find your center, finding ways to do that, finding connection to do that, finding connection to the earth and the nature, or whatever your place is that you find access to your higher self. And we just have to tune in better to our inner knowing, to know and discern what it is that is next. So the nodes of the moon I spoke of later, they're the intersection points of the sun and the moon, and they change every 18.6 years. We just had a set of eclipses in Virgo, and because that's where the nodes are, but we had this first one in Aquarius because that's where the moon was, and the node was close enough. It has to be within 17 or 11, between 11 and 17 degrees of that sun or moon, and they fall with a new moon and a full moon. And we have them about twice a year. And when we're in that eclipse time, there's one, and then for the new moon or full moon, and then 2 weeks later for the other, typically twice a year. And fated things happen. And so when people say something just happened and I, had to change, that often comes with an eclipse where you get redirected back into your destiny. And, a fated thing will just happen if you're not aligned. And so the nodes are really powerful. And, like I said, they're not a planet, they're a calculated point. And the south node is that place. I've heard this in the talk too, about where we felt comfortable and where, we just had this knowing, we knew what to do. We had these talents and abilities. And that north node is getting directed by us, is we can't help ourselves but go there. And Sherry and I can both attest to that when she's wondering, what's my purpose? And I had a major life transition. I mean, from, a year, many 20 years in chemical industry and oil and gas and all of that to, being an astrologer, learning about trauma and learning about all these things that everyone's been talking about on the summit, and, emotions and stored in our body and all those things because of stuff that I went through, which is not for this talk. But so if you had a little moment between February 17th and March 3rd, when we had these eclipses, they may have hit, your degrees, because this one was a big ending. 29 degrees is that last degree. And they usually bring a real pivot point. And so back to the topic of fire, these nodes have been in water, Pisces, and Virgo for 18 months. So they take 18.6 years to go around, but they're in each axis for 18 months. And so they're moving into now the axis of Aquarius and Leo, air, fire. So not only do we have all those other planets going into fire and air, we also have the nodes, and that'll happen in the summer. And just to kind of wrap up here, we have the Mercury retrogrades and Venus and Mars. We had all that happen beginning of last year. That felt like it went on forever. We do have another Venus retrograde at the end of the year this year. We have Mercury ones always 3 times a year, and we're in one right now. So February 25th to March 20th. And I looked next year for this time of the year for the International Women's Day. We're just over one, so that would be good, because that's when the tech issues happen, mishaps, communications. Like my daughter went to a hair appointment that she thought was 9 and it was a 3. Just like stuff with vehicles, stuff with the watching the computer spin, freezing, all things kind of breaking down sometimes. But it's not always that. It can be very helpful to go rework things, redo, and rethink. And so this one in Pisces, because Pisces is what we imagine, it also can be fantasies and delusions and illusions. So it can help, rewrite the story. It can help you rethink, oh, maybe I didn't see that clearly. It can help, bring about different things that need a little redo. And so, like I said, that's from February 25th to March 20th. And they have a pre-shadow and an after-shadow part, but this is the most potent. And right when they're changing around these dates is when it is the most potent. And I found I couldn't even get on my computer because we have sketchy internet here. So we are changing it, but there's too much snow. So yeah, hopefully we'll be moving with more awareness, and we will have the retrogrades again, June 29th to July 30th. And all the Mercury retrogrades this year are in water, which is so wild because everything else is in fire. And all of those Mercury ones are in water. So this one's going to be in Cancer, which is the motherly energy and the protective home, family, nurturing good foods. And then later on in October, we have this one in Scorpio, which is the deep, intense, passionate, power control issues, some, stuff like that that can come up, and, and communications. So, and then the Venus, we're not going to get into this, but there is a Venus retrograde that happens October 2nd to November 16th. They're usually about 40 days, and that will be in Scorpio as well. So that could be intense. It can be intense about what you love, what you find pleasurable, what you desire. And it can, it's going to go from Scorpio back into Libra, which is all relationship based. The Libra is the we. So it's the opposite of Aries. Aries is the me, the I, and then Libra is the we, and finding balance and harmony. And so we'll start in Scorpio. You might have to dig a few things up and then go back to some harmony. So so here is, this is just some previous slides, and I talked about this. There's in the downloads, there's the video where I talked about this. You'll see this, so I don't need to spend really any time on it, but these are just the new moons, and that was our one with the eclipse. And then this one will be when Uranus is getting close to being in trine with Pluto, and that's a real big transit as well that affects things. And then April, this is wild. All this Aries, I am energy. I hate to say it, but Aries is also like warriors. It's, definitely, if in low road, is very aggressive and very, much in conflict. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll get through that without, too many issues, but that energy will be there. And then going into May, we get closer. This is a big deal too, is this 4-degree mark. We're going to have a trine with all our outer planets, all at 4 degrees. So that'll change everything. So so learning astrology started for me from learning emotional empowerment, and mine was based on Dr. David Hawkins' work through the SWAT Institute. And learning the emotional resonance and energies that we resonate in with energy. So I have a lot of tips and tools and exercises that help people work through the emotions and, find ways to work through that. But, we were talking about enlightenment. There it is. That was, right at 1,000, because this scale is not, it was just downloaded, and it's not linear. Here, of course, it's more exponential. So that is everything I'm going to share for today. And this is just, we're going to talk about the gifts now. And hopefully that wasn't too fast, but hopefully through the gifts we can connect. And I just wanted everyone to know that we have some big fire energies all around, and it's not going to stop. So part of the work I like to do is to help support people through their own transitions in life transformations, because a lot of times there is a transit that's happening, and you can, see timing of it. Like everyone's talking about what happens at 40, like around 40, just under 40, we have a nodal return, and that's going to shift something to get you back on your alignment, your soul contract, your path for destiny. And then at 42 to 44, that's a Uranus opposition, which can happen like lightning bolt shock, or take you down like, oh my God, break free, break through something major. And that's when mine happened. My whole life just puff on.
Poof. Yeah.
Because I wasn't aligned. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome, Di. So much cool information. And I just want to encourage everyone to if you couldn't tell already, Diana is so knowledgeable in this stuff. And I just love how, even what you were talking about, this whole piece around us being in connection to earth and nature and going within, and like that's what's in the stars right now. And it's like, yeah, of course. And that's been the theme of this whole event, like very, very much so.
That one, and sovereignty. And
it's sovereignty.
Is sovereignty. This 0-degree mark is like not like going forward. We haven't lived nobody's in history lived in this kind of energy. Like some of our cycles we can track real easy. This
Hmm.
one is a whole new thing. Just saying.
Yeah, a whole
Yeah.
new thing.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Bring
if we
on.
think we know what's going to happen, we actually don't.
Yeah,
So that's why we have to find ways to feel safe, because you can just get spun right out, right? And your nervous
right.
systems, and then fire and air are, the nervous system is ruled by those, Gemini, Aquarius. Yeah. So,
Yeah. And that's where support and community and all of that are so, so
so
important.
important.
So
Yeah.
take advantage. Like, I mean, I know there's a lot here with everyone, but take advantage of what, feels aligned for you.
Mhm.
Because I think that, well, we always need it, we always need support. But Di, I know you mentioned your free gift. So that is in the chat there, free downloadable PDF on how to create birth chart and learn elements and planetary basics and a 40%,
Yeah. Of
right?
course, there's so much in that PDF, because I started writing a long time ago, and then it just, I just, I'm like, there's no point in it sitting on my desktop only, right? So you just take what you can out of it, bits and pieces, and
Yeah,
what resonates, right?
for sure.
Yeah.
And and also I don't know, and I find it just fun too. Like, I mean, I love it every time because I mean, with Diana being one of my, well, really my true and original, the original
I'm the
bestie,
OG.
the OG
I
bestie.
know you have some
Um,
very special ladies in your life, and I got to meet and see lots of them through your summits. And yeah, but yeah, we go back. We go
well,
back.
but it's just so funny how, like even at Christmas time, it's like, holy,
What the
but that
hell's going
time.
on?
And
Yeah.
then you saw me at my more talks in February, and you're like, share, are you feeling the energy? I'm like, yes. And then she goes, that's because.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, and
super
I know
cool.
sometimes it's fire hosy, but I just like, it's like, oh my gosh. Well, and then your last summit, and yeah, and like the water, and I lost my voice and choked. Yeah, like it's just
Yeah,
like
right.
sometimes you just can't get around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then your VIP gift, a paid yearly subscription to Substack community and 50% off a reading, or win a free one with referral you have here. So,
Yeah, yeah. So, and actually, even with the free one, the free gift download, I decided for this big conjunction that I was going to give away some readings, but I can't just like make it,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
I have to have an end cap on it. So,
yeah, sure. Yeah,
I
of course.
allotted a few for the free, and that
Yeah,
one is if you purchase with a coupon, you get a big discount too, to be part of the Substack. And all it is to encourage you, and bring your friends, bring your family, bring your, whoever, and kids, and come to the Zoom, and look at your birth chart. And right now it's just starting, so it'll be very intimate.
perfect.
And yeah, yeah.
Nice,
So
nice, nice.
yeah, and
Okay,
then
so,
so I'm going to gather everyone like monthly on a Zoom through the Substack community,
oh,
and so
nice.
I'll just put you in the back end there of that, and for that's the VIP gift. So
Perfect.
totally worth that, $47 right there.
Yeah, totally. And last call, like taking advantage of the upgrade to VIP if you want to get in on that $500 uh cash prize to spend with the speaker of your choice. Like now is the time because my last session today is an interview which I won't be able to monitor any sales at that point. So get in there now. All the recordings, all these VIP gifts, and of course your chance to win $500 cash, Diana. Thank you for coming on and sharing. Make sure you guys take advantage of her gifts. You know I love you. And thanks for
Love you
showing up for
too.
us.
Okay, thank you.